Greetings YouTube, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we look at another indie game. This time we're looking at Ranch Simulator by one-person development team Toxic Dog. Ranch Simulator lets you live out your dream of being a farmer, building your very own ranch, raising your own animals and living off the land. Now this game is a casual survival game with a surprising level of depth, and I found myself playing it a hell of a lot more than I originally intended. We're going to play the first part of the campaign, and as always I'm going to let you know what I think. Let's have a look at Ranch Simulator. We begin the game on our grandfather's old ranch. We've just moved here to fulfill his last wishes to bring this place back to its former glory. So first thing we're going to do is have a bit of a rest. And then we're going to go and check out our new home. So this is the ranch. It's definitely seen better days. We've got a lot of work to do to restore this place to working order. Even our grandfather's old house was in a pretty bad shape. I'm hoping he wasn't living here. And we have to head on upstairs and see what our grandfather left as his final gift to us, apart from this ranch. We'll have to do a little bit of cleaning up on the way. Okay, what do you have for us, grandfather? Ooh, nice. Some pew. Some cash. Take this revolver. In the forest there are many wild animals that can cause you trouble. I left some money and ammo. One more thing, you'll need a car. In the garage to the entrance of the ranch is an old UTV. You'll need to use spare parts you find here to fix it up. Good luck. So let's see if we can... No, we're going to take a shortcut. So first things first, let's go find our vehicle. Gonna have to do a little bit of DIY to get it up and running. Now we'll be able to purchase more beefy vehicles later on. Things more befitting of a farm, but right now we've got pretty much a little granny scooter. And it's not even in one piece. Thankfully, our grandfather at least had some spare parts lying around that we can use. Now, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. This game is very, very rough. The collision detection's a little bit off. The character models are a little janky. The game is very bare bones and there's quite a few little minor bugs. There's nothing game breaking, but I understand that a lot of people are probably going to write this game off as an unpolished mess. And it would be a shame if you did, because one of the things about having this channel is that I often will be incentivized to play games that I would otherwise write off. And this game, I don't know, something about it, it just has this level of charm that just makes me keep playing it. It's a really fun game that it's a diamond in the rough, I guess is the best way to describe it. If you can get past the bugs and the jankiness of the game, there's actually a really, really fun game hiding beneath all of this. And a lot of games I play are very, very hardcore. And a lot of people often say, you know, the game's too hard for me. The difficulty level is too high. In this game, it's just a casual game. There's no hunger meter, there's no thirst meter or anything like that. You're not going to die. You can take the game at your own pace. You don't have to, you don't have to sit here playing the game for hours and hours on end. A lot of the fun in the game, the satisfaction, is just bumming around, working out the mechanics bit by bit, because there's no rush. you can, and the game's very forgiving. It's not like you can die. There are animals that can kill you, but if you get killed by a wild animal, then you'd almost have to be trying to die. You're pretty well armed. You've got a vehicle to bum around in. As long as you don't do anything stupid, you're not going to die. Even if you flip the car, you can drop the car back. There's no damage for vehicles in the game, so you can't destroy your car, which is convenient because we can't afford another one. And there's also some really cool mechanics in the game. Something as simple as having to actually pick up the petrol pump from the Bowser and manually insert it in the car. It's just little touches like that that I really like. Now, obviously, it would have been nice to have some, proper NPCs in the game. You're gonna have to use your imagination a fair bit here. Let's move this jerry can so I can actually get the fuel line into it. There we go. Okay, so now we've got a full tank of gas and we've also got the fuel line, and I have admitted that I thought about driving off with the fuel line attached to the car. You can actually do that, but it does actually just drop out, and it automatically drops it back on the Bowser. That was the first thing I tried to do. I wonder if I can blow up the petrol station. My inner psychopath. So the next thing we need to do is go and talk to the real estate agent. And they're going to give us some more information on how to construct buildings. I also see a deer there, so we're absolutely going to go and test out our new toy. Oh, my aim's not too good. Let's try that again. Now, wild animals are worth a fair bit of money. You can sell the meat. It's pretty hard to aim in this game too. I don't know if it's just the whether the reticle's out or... That was a hit. Nice. So let's go and harvest some animal meat. Let's hope my aim is better. I wasted a fair bit of ammo there. Animal meat can be sold for, not a hell of a lot of money, but it'll cover our fuel and our ammo costs. Later on, we'll be able to buy some containers that'll let us carry the animal meat in mass, so we can go on hunting trips, loading up our car with all those goodies. There's that other piece of meat. Okay, let's go and see if we can find that other deer. It's over here somewhere. I think the biggest thing you're going to be working against... Oh, it's okay, there's a deer here. Kill him. There we go. Now, animal meat is worth a fair bit, and at the start of the game, it's actually the best way to earn money. Animals are pretty plentiful. They respawn once a day. So you want to go out, and once you start getting low on money, start loading up on animal meat. We'll buy a cooler, hopefully. No, I don't know where that other corpse went. That's okay. The animal meat sells for about $15 a pop, which means we just made a cool $100 then. Burnt through probably $50 worth of bullets, but take what I can get. Oh no, there's the other deer. Yay! Whoop, we just mashed him. Mincemeat. So we can go to the local fast food store and they'll buy animal meat. Again, this is not the most efficient way to store it. We'll buy ourselves a container soon. There we go. Are you by any chance the new owner of one of the nearby ranches? Yes, I am. I must give you the construction manual. So apparently the bank are experts in building as well. We've got our construction book, which works kind of similar to the forest if you've played that. Just gives you a book full of designs that you can build, pre-built stuff. You can't build a totally custom build yet. You can build some custom blocks, but here we go. Here you can buy a car or customize it. So we can install a radio in our car. And we can also purchase other cars. At the moment, we don't have anywhere near the money that we need. As you can see, very, very expensive. You can buy things like an SUV, and you can see that these things have a really nice capacity for carrying animals. So these are perfect for carrying animals. The smaller cars, I mean, they can carry one or two, but honestly, you want to try and save up and get yourself a truck. Once we have cows and pigs, we're going to have to get a big truck to be able to carry them back to the ranch. Okay, next thing we need to do is buy a radio for our new car. We've done a hunting trip. Nice. Next thing is we're going to stop off at the local fast food house and drop off all of this good meat. This place has a loading bay, so it makes this really easy. I wish you could. I wish there was an easier way to do this without having to buy some of the more expensive containers. Later on, we'll be able to buy a cooler, and then we can just dunk a cooler here, and they'll carry 12 pieces of meat. So you just dump a cooler, and they'll automatically empty all the meat out of it, and you'll get all the money. There we go. This should make us at least maybe $100, probably a little more. That's a hell of a lot of meat. Let's go and see what we got. 135. Not too bad. That'll pay for some ammo and cover our costs. Next thing we do is head to the hardware store. Get ourselves some basic tools to begin building up the ranch. Now we're only going to be able to buy some, cheap, crappy tools at the moment. Later on, we'll be able to buy powered tools, so chainsaws, jackhammers, that sort of thing. But for now, we have to go for the cheap and nasty option. Every store in the game has an automated terminal. It would be nice to have some NPCs, but again, it's early days. Now we need a axe, crowbar, and a cheap table saw. So let's get that. Table saw, axe, crowbar. I'm going to cheat because we want the cooler. That'll let me carry more meat. And we also want a bucket. And I would like to get more, but I'm going to try and save my money because the next stop is the local store. Yep, let's go with that. Nice. So now what we need to do is pick up our goodies, load the car up, and then head on down to the general store where we'll be able to buy some farming supplies. Now everything can be loaded into the car, which is a really cool addition to the game. I like being able to set up the car the way that you like it. So we've got a cooler right here for our animal meat. And once we get a bigger car, get some trucks and that, we'll be able to carry a hell of a lot more. There we go. So now we've got everything loaded up. And now we've got ourselves a cooler. If we run into more animals, we'll be able to store a hell of a lot more meat. So that just means longer hunting trips. And speaking of hunting, I'm going to go and buy myself some bullets next. Whoa! Now you can actually get some pretty good air in this thing, and if you do stack it, it doesn't matter. Again, this game is very forgiving. It's a very forgiving and a casual game. You can spend a couple of minutes or a couple of hours in it, and it's a very relaxing sort of game. So we're going to head up to the... It gives you that kind of country feeling style. So I think a lot of people who are new to survival crafting games may get a kick out of this, because you're not really going to be heavily punished. You're not going to be dying a hell of a lot. You can play the game at your own pace. And for those people who like things a little bit more complex, there's actually a fair bit of depth in the farming system in raising animals. Okay, so we need to buy an egg basket and 2 chickens. And I'm going to buy some wheat as well. We'll get some feed. Can I afford a rooster? No, I won't do that yet. Okay, beautiful. Now eventually we'll be able to buy a rooster, and the rooster will be able to fertilize the eggs, giving us free chickens. But for now we need to be a bit frugal with our money, our supplies. Now thankfully the car defies the laws of physics. I don't need to worry about the car tipping over. I do need to get myself some ammo though. We'll buy 2 of those. Yeah, so you can load this thing right up to the sky. As long as it fits in the back of your car, it'll work. So we've got some bullets. We're going to need those because we're going to start doing some hunting. This might be a problem actually. I may not have the room to store these chickies. It's going to be pretty tight. I went on a pretty epic shopping spree. There's one. Now, it seems these guys... Oh, look, they've already started laying eggs. How's that? That's just free resources there. And this is the benefit of having the basket. We'll stow these eggs for now. And eventually we'll be able to tell if the eggs are going to hatch into another chicken. But for now, let's head on back home with all our goodies. Even if you can stack this thing, you can do a full 360 and land on the roof, and everything in the back of the car will be magically fine. Now, the map is very small, and I think that's a lot of people are going to notice that straight away. There's not a lot of detail. The town is very, very small, and apart from the stores and the ranch, there's not a hell of a lot here. And I think that is something that the developer needs to work on, something that they themselves have acknowledged. Okay, so next thing we need to do is chuck down our chickadees. Let's do that. Now, animals can escape, so I'm going to use this little house here as a makeshift chicken enclosure. And we'll get the food here. And we're going to set up the water next to it. Nice. So now we've got the chickens, they got food, they got water. These guys are going to lay eggs each day, and hopefully they're not going to be smart enough to escape through one of the gaps. They can't, the game actually counts that as a solid wall. So next thing we want to do is build ourselves a coop. which is here. And the only thing we need for a coop is some wood. And I'm going to set it up here because I'm going to set up a wall. So this is going to be, hopefully, no, that's okay. I'll set it here. That'll do. And then all I have to do is put an enclosure here, a fence here, and it should be good to go. Nice. So I'm going to need some wood, and that is why we bought the table saw. And we just have to set up our table saw. I'm going to just set it up over here. That'll do. Beautiful. It's going to need some fuel, which we filled up the jerry can for. And we'll process these woods. Now, because we've got an axe, we can cut down some of these trees. And we're going to need a hell of a lot of wood if we're going to build some fences. So I want to build a fence here. So let's get the blueprints down. Fences are a really easy way to set up your animals. Let's get that going. And it's far easier to use a fence than it is to use a coop or an enclosure. So I'm going to build a couple here. Okay, that ought to be roughly... Yeah, it's not perfect. It's going to have to do. Let's set up our next fence here. And we'll set a gate up. This can be for our chickens. Go. Nothing perfect, but it'll do the job. There we go. Chickens aren't going to get out of that. And we've got ourselves a fence. So let's start chopping that wood up. It's getting a bit late at night, so I think the next thing I'm going to do is jump in the car and we're going to load up some wood. Wherever my car's at. Because we can run out of wood on the ranch very quick. But this car has a magical storage bay, and we can fit as many logs as we can physically fit on this thing, so let's cut down some trees. We can drop the tailgate down and start loading this bad boy up with wood. Now, if you get really stuck, you can actually sell the wood as well, but it's not very profitable. You're better off hunting animals if you can. But just if you get desperate, it doesn't cost you anything apart from a little bit of fuel. And fuel's quite cheap in the game. I'm just gonna see how many logs I can load up. Now again, the animations are like, a lot of this is very rough around the edges. I realise that. A lot of people are going to take a look at this and just go, no, it's too rough. Too rough around the edges. There's not enough polish. And I thought the same thing too. But it just, I don't know, it just has a certain type of charm that just got to me. I don't know. Maybe it's because I tend to play these games a lot. I have a soft spot for survival games, maybe because there's not a lot of farming games that are any good. So I tend to play, I play a lot of survival games with farming mechanics, but farming is not the main concept of the game. So because they've made farming the main concept of this game, they've had the luxury of making this very, very detailed. And there's a lot of detail in the game. For a farming system, you've got cows, pigs, chickens. They all have their own statistics. They all individually grab food and water. You have to worry about, at least with the chickens, you have to buy equipment that will tell you if the egg is a fertilized egg or just a regular one you can eat. There's just so much detail in the game, and it was really surprising to see. Oh, there we go. I have found a limit to how much you can put in this car. I think I've just hit it. Yep. So there is a limit. I didn't hit it before. Oh, there we go. Oh. Yep, it appears that I cannot fit any more. Ah, well, that's not too bad. That's 12 logs. Quite impressive. Now, this is in Space Engineers. You can literally load your car right stock to the brim with goodies, and it will... Oh, it's going to run. Just have to make sure I'm... Oh, no, yeah, I'm straight ahead. Because it's pitch black. Okay, let's get some rest. And then we'll head in the next day. We're going to finish up this coop. Let's go check how the chickens are going. I hope Yeah, I did lock them in here. They haven't escaped. My slave chickens. Okay, so it's a little bit hard to see the eggs when they lay them, which is probably one of my only complaints. There's just a lot of little things in this game. I can't see eggs in here, and if you pick them up without having a basket, they'll drop them and they'll be destroyed. So I don't see any eggs at the moment. We'll come back. It's going to be... Oh, there we go. There's a deer. Oh, I can't hunt them because my car's full of wood. So you get to live today, Mr. Deer. So the next thing we're going to do is start processing all this wood. Going to build ourselves up a spot for the chickies. And we're going to need a hell of a lot of wood here. We'll finish up the chicken coop. And then we can work on the fence next. So we're going to need about 15 logs for the chickadees. This is a very relaxing game. You can sit here and just, chug a few hours away. Do whatever project you're doing. Have a look at the animals. Drive around, bum around, take some pot shots at the local wildlife. There's no sense of urgency in the game, and I think that may put some people off, but it was refreshing to just play a game where I'm just like, I'm not under any pressure, I'm not running against a time limit, I can just build things at my own pace. So let's get this set up. And yeah, it is relaxing to just work at your own pace. Work out what you want to build next, and you're just basically earning money. You'll never really go broke unless you're really trying, because this game's very forgiving. There's plenty of animals around to hunt. There, if you get really desperate, you can sell wood. You can You can just wait around for your chickens to lay some eggs, and then you can sell the eggs in town. Later on, when you breed chickens, you can make things like sausages. You can make all these different food items that will let you earn a big profit at the local fast food place. And once you get some of the bigger animals, you can even raise your own horses. There we go. We've got ourselves a coop. Now I'm going to see if the bug with the door launching me into space is still happening. No, it's not happening anymore. So, like, when you stood on top of the door and you closed it, it used to, like, launch you up in the air. Doesn't seem to be doing it anymore. No. So, the last thing we'll do, let's get these chickens in the coop. I'll have to invest in some more food and water for them. I did buy a spare bag of food. So, we'll chuck that, I'll chuck that in the enclosure here, but let's get this chickie squared away, and we'll buy. Oh, you come to see your buddy. Oh, damn it. Okay, nice. So we now have our first startings of a farm. These guys are going to lay eggs. They're going to multiply once I get a rooster in there. We're going to continue our building efforts, but I think I'll leave it here for now. I hope this has given you enough of an idea on whether you want to pick this game up. It's a very casual, fun game. It's very rough around the edges, so if you don't have a lot of tolerance for that, you may want to give this one a miss. But me personally, I really liked it. It's a nice change of pace from some of the more brutal, difficult games I play. And occasionally it's fun to just sit back and relax and do something that's a little bit of a change of pace. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. If you did enjoy it, leave me a like, leave me a subscribe, and hopefully you'll join me next time when we play another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.